Live from KSAT 12, the Night Beat starts right now.
New on the Night Beat, one person dead after getting hit by a car on the city's south side. It happened on Pleasanton Road near East Amber Place a little before 8:30. Not a lot of details yet on exactly what happened. We do know one person died at the scene. The Traffic Investigation Division is still there trying to figure out exactly what happened. An investigation into a deadly shooting from last night, nearly turning deadly tonight after a San Antonio police detective shot at while following up that case. The Night Team's Charles Gonzalez is live at Public Safety Headquarters, where police continue to interview as many as 5 suspects from tonight. Charles?
Oh, Isis and Steve, the detective involved had pulled up to a home in the 200 block of Rainbow, right across the street from yesterday's fatal shooting at the Whispering Heights apartments. Now, while the detective was going over some paperwork, someone walked out of that house and started firing at the detective's car. And we're told that the back windshield of that car was hit, but fortunately that detective was not. He was able to get away and call for backup, and fellow officers quickly arrived. Now, aided by Eagle in the Sky, they were able to pick up a couple of suspects, one of them almost immediately after the shooting, and another in a drainage ditch at Vandiver and Eisenhower.
There was 2 individuals that fled the location that have been placed in custody at this point in time, and there was several other individuals inside the residence, and they came out voluntarily on their own.
Now, a SWAT team arrived a few minutes after the chief spoke to completely clear that house before letting any investigators inside. And while the detective was investigating yesterday's shooting, the chief would not confirm if any of those people arrested today are believed to be involved in that fatal shooting. Live at Public Safety Headquarters, Charles Gonzalez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Charles. 2 Bexar County deputies earlier today on administrative leave tonight after they shot a suspect while serving a warrant this morning west of downtown. Deputies say 23-year-old Julian Sanchez was wanted on several outstanding warrants. They found him hiding under a blanket in the 500 block of North Rocio. When they ordered him to remove that blanket, authorities say Sanchez fired a shot at them. The deputies returned fire, hitting Sanchez twice in the chest. He was rushed to the hospital as listed in stable condition tonight.
New on the Night Beat, an attempted murder suspect out of California tracked down right here in San Antonio. Members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force arrested 45-year-old Roberto Franco Jr. in the 8500 block of South Flores. Marshals say he was one of 5 men wanted for shooting into a vehicle that had 3 people inside back in June of last year. Investigators in California learned he was living here in San Antonio for several months. He'll soon be on his way back to the West Coast.
Once he's processed and once he's able to get everything done as far as the legal concerns, then he can be extradited back over to California so he can face those pending charges.
One of the alleged victims in the shooting was left in critical condition. The other 2 suffered minor injuries.
New on the Night Beat, the Bexar County Jail needs more female jailers. That's because they're seeing an increase in female inmates. The Night Team's Myra Arthur went inside the jail annex where more than 500 women are currently housed behind bars to find out what it takes to get the job done.
The Bexar County Jail wants more women.
Am I going to be able to do this for the rest of my life? And 9 years later, I'm here.
Sergeant Jeanette Torres found herself asking that question when she got into a physical confrontation with an inmate. It's an aspect of the job she shares with any applicant.
The job is not for everybody. You have to make a conscious decision that this is where you want to be.
And with an increase in female inmates over the last year, Bexar County hopes more women will decide this is where they want to be.
The reality is when you supervise women in different environments, such as their housing environments, where they live, they shower, you have to have a woman to ensure that we don't have any cross-contamination of any gender concerns.
Some have the misconception that men are better suited for the job.
Everybody's trained the exact same way. Everybody has the same capability as the next person. You'll be surprised, a lot of people will be like, I'm ready to do that.
Sergeant Torres believes one of the biggest challenges women jailers can face can often be themselves.
We put that on ourselves, that we cannot handle this position because we are a female, and that's because everybody else has told us that. Once we get that out of our minds and know that we are capable of doing this task that's been placed on us, everything else just comes into place.
Myra Arthur, KSAT 12 News.
Well, it is happening far too often. Attacks, hackers, online thefts, not all threaten not only individuals, but the nation as a whole. Today, President Barack Obama spoke at a summit in California, urging companies to work together to combat cyber crimes. As we show you in this Crime Fighters report, it's a problem facing everyone with a computer.
There's only one way to defend America from these cyber threats, and that is through government and industry working together, sharing appropriate information as true partners.
Speaking at Stanford University today, President Obama met with the nation's largest tech companies, from Apple to Google to Microsoft, about what can be done to combat cyber crimes. Part of his solution, the government and the private sector need to share information and work together.
We've seen both on the government side and the private sector side that these hacking incidents can be devastating to individual companies, both from a loss of, financial loss as well as a reputation loss.
Jim Thompson with the FBI says while the issue of cybersecurity is an international one, it has an impact locally, too.
In a way, that San Antonio is a small mirror of the whole United States, where we have all these different sectors represented that can more effectively share information.
The president also saying today that cybersecurity isn't just a partisan problem, but rather a problem for anyone who uses the internet.
The cyber problem at this point is so vast and so expensive for everyone that it's going to require an all-out effort on everyone's part to. I don't think we're ever going to solve the problem, but we can more effectively combat it.
Now, after the summit, the president also signed an executive order encouraging tech companies to communicate cybersecurity threats with each other and the U.S. government.
Got some breaking news right now from TransGuide. This is time-saver traffic at I-10 and Wurzbach. You're looking at the westbound lanes that are coming towards you. There's an accident, we're told, at I-10 and De Zavala right now, and you can see traffic is almost at a standstill in the westbound lanes of I-10. Again, this is the camera at Wurzbach pointing east, so it's the westbound traffic on I-10 really slowed down because of that accident at I-10 and De Zavala. Certainly an area you want to stay away from. Well, a story of pills, stolen prescriptions, and perhaps misjustice may have taken a different turn. We have a night beat update now. Monday night, we told you about ophthalmologist Dr. Jean Holt and her stolen prescription pad. She called police when she was told more than 100 prescriptions for the highly regulated narcotic drug hydrocodone were written with her stolen scripts. She even told police who did it. But an SAPD narcotics investigator never interviewed her. No arrests ever made. Well, the morning after our story aired, a narcotics investigator showed up to take her statement and dropped off this paperwork. Still no arrests, but progress. We'll continue to follow the case.
A water heater is being blamed for a fire that an 86-year-old woman was lucky to escape earlier this evening. As the 19's Marisa Mendoza reports, the woman escaped with the two most important things in her arms, her dog and her purse.
Me and him live together.
With her 4-year-old Chihuahua Pepe in her arms and daughters Monica and Mary Esther by her side, Adelaida Lucy Garza is in good spirits. This after she escaped her burning house that she's lived in for 55 years.
It was meant to happen. For some reason, God wanted it to happen, but I'm still here. I thank God for that.
The fire started late Friday afternoon in the 6100 block of McDonough on the south side. Firefighters say a faulty hot water heater is to blame for the fire. Fortunately, crews arrived on scene and managed to get the fire under control right away. Garza, who does alterations for a living, says she's sad she lost her sewing machine in the fire, a machine her late husband bought her 50 years ago.
I've always been doing alterations all those years with that same machine, and it's working perfect all the time.
The fire caused at least $100,000 of damage. Fortunately for Garza, she says she has homeowner's insurance and she plans to rebuild.
Because a lot of people lose everything, they don't have insurance. But I had insurance enough to cover whatever I lost.
Just to see her perfect and okay, that's all that matters. So we'll rebuild, we'll do what we can. We just love our mother. We're happy she's okay.
From the south side, Marisa Mendoza, KSAT 12 News.
A Dallas woman who lost her vehicle after it was hit by a man running from the cops, getting a little help with that problem. How she wound up getting a new set of wheels, still to come.
Plus, this is not a joke. Owl warning signs going up in one city to let folks know about a serious problem where joggers and walkers have been crying foul. coming up a little later.
And a man thought to be dead turns up alive and turns himself into police. Why authorities say he faked his own death. Coming up next.